In 1991, an unexpected visitor arrived in Latin America to stay.
Vai usar para combater o mexilhão? Se é um veneno, precisa ter autorização do IBAMA.
São aletas de ferro de mais ou menos 2 centímetros de espessura e 20 espaçamento. Então eles vão grudando aqui que fecha.
This is the Ilha Reservoir, one of the biggest reservoirs in the southeast region of Brazil. It supports the Ilha hydropower plant belonging to CTG Brazil. The waters are home to 75 fish farms, all of them affected by a golden mussel invasion.
Eu vou coletar esses mexilhões e aí depois no barco a gente faz uma triagem nesse mexilhão. Então a gente vai colocar o mexilhão dentro da bandeja e vai quantificar o mexilhão. Nós vamos contar o número de mexilhões, o tamanho desses mexilhões também, e a gente vai medir o peso desse mexilhão numa balança. Posteriormente a gente faz essa anotação de tudo para planilhar esses dados, para ter uma ideia de como está a população do mexilhão nessa localidade.
O problema do mexilhão começou no final de 2008, já tinha interferência do mexilhão no cultivo. Se não fizer a remoção, a limpeza e a remoção do mexilhão, literalmente a gente pode perder tudo. Pode chegar num ponto que a comatação é tamanha que não há troca nem oxigenação dessa água e a tilápia vem a morrer mesmo do tanque como um todo. A cada manejo do peixe, a gente está lavando e tentando eliminar o mexilhão dos tanques. Qualquer estrutura que esteja dentro d'água, desde os tambores de flutuação, fatalmente o mexilhão vai se aderir.
D'Artagnan has 150 to 200 fish pens. Every time mussels are removed from the pens, the fish inside had to be relocated. To kill the mussels, the entire pen is exposed to the sun for 3 to 7 days. Then, the dead mussels are physically removed with hydrojets or shovels and reused as an organic fertilizer. All of this translates into additional labor cost and financial loss for D'Artagnan.
Esses problemas, eles são porque a espécie ela não tem um controle biológico, ela não tem nenhuma outra espécie para competir e para vencer em uma competição de espaço com ela. E também não tem nenhum predador efetivo que diminua essa população.
More than 30 years ago, the golden mussel was brought in the ballast water of merchant ships that came from Asia to the La Plata River in Argentina. Mussels can help clean the water and provide food for river life. But without any natural predator, the golden mussel population grew uncontrollably across Argentina, eventually spreading to other countries like Brazil. Today, the invasive species can be found in almost all Brazilian regions, except the north. What's most worrying is that these golden invaders have infiltrated one of Brazil's most important infrastructures, hydropower plants. Around 70% of Brazil's energy comes from hydroelectricity. With over 1,500 megawatts of capacity, Jupia Hydropower Plant is one of the largest facilities owned by CTG Brazil, which also operates 13 other hydroelectric plants in the country. Only one of them is free of golden mussels.
A grande dificuldade que nós temos aí, que é devida ao mexilhão, né, é o aumento da frequência das manutenções, né, que são as intervenções na máquina. Sempre quando temos que intervir no equipamento, a gente tem que mobilizar uma equipe. A equipe se expõe ao risco de estar trabalhando naquele equipamento. Algumas das vezes parar a máquina e com isso a gente tem um certo impacto na disponibilidade. Sempre quando estamos trabalhando em uma manutenção devido ao mexilhão, né, a gente está deslocando a equipe que poderia estar fazendo a preventiva em outro equipamento, né?
At just 2.5 centimeters, the golden mussel is about the size of a grape, but it has the potential to decimate thriving rivers and reservoirs, endanger the Amazon, and bring down hydropower plants.
O impacto dele na geração de energia vem quando é necessário parar a máquina, né? Gerar uma indisponibilidade da máquina para que seja efetuada a manutenção, né? Então esse impacta nossos indicadores, né, que consequentemente impacta aí a performance da manutenção e da usina. O sentimento que nós temos é que, infelizmente, é algo que a gente não consegue controlar, né? E atacar na causa mesmo do processo de manutenção corretiva por mexilhão, a gente não consegue atacar por não termos controle sobre a proliferação desse molusco aí, né?
Golden mussels can be found in almost 40% of hydropower plants in Brazil, costing each facility $7 to $8 million in maintenance fees every year. When clearing out mussels, the generator units have to be turned off. That alone costs all the plants an annual loss of around $120 million. For now, the solution is to periodically remove the golden mussels by hand. But that could change in the future.
In around 2007-8, it was clear for us that all the approaches were similar. Everyone's trying to test a different chemical and see how it would improve the control. But the truth is, this mussel is very smart and it can detect chemical solutions in the water, and it closes their valves.
In 2017, CTG Brazil decided it was time to stop these invaders once and for all. The company brought Chinese and Brazilian scientists together and poured in over $1.5 million into research. A few years later, a solution was found. This is how it works. Every animal has 2 copies of each gene, one inherited from each parent. The idea is to genetically modify the golden mussel so that one copy of its fertility gene leads to infertility. In a normal situation, the modified mussel would pass down the fertile copy to half of its offspring, and to the other half, the infertile copy. But a gene-altering strategy called gene drive changes that. It ensures that the modified fertility gene copy is always passed down to all of its offspring.
This technique, called gene drive, it's not really a molecular technique. It's more like an evolutive tool. The way to do it is to guarantee that you will have a copy of a chromosome that comes from your mother, another copy from your father. So you guarantee that the 2 copies are carrying the trait or the characteristic that you want.
When these modified mussels mate with wild mussels, the gene drive strategy ensures that all, not just half, of its offspring inherit the infertility gene copy. Eventually, when 2 modified mussels mate, their offspring becomes completely sterile, incapable of reproducing, and gradually causing the entire population to die out. This concept was such a game changer that in 2019, it won the Best Practices Award by Benchmarking Brazil, a prestigious sustainability program in Brazil. In the same year, the idea also won the Brazilian Bioeconomy Prize and made the front page of the Brazilian financial newspaper, Valor Econômico. Right now, the project is in the prototype construction phase, where scientists are trying to create the genetically modified mussels in the lab. The solution has not yet been applied in nature, but researchers estimate that, initially, once the modified mussels are released in the wild, it would take 2 years for infertile mussels to make up 50% of the population and 10 years to reach 90%.
We estimate that we might have the ready-to-go animals by 2026, and that's when we can have field tests and to actually assess the safety and the efficiency of the overall process. I'm not just making a research, it has a purpose. So we're actually, we have a goal to help with conservation, especially with our biodiversity here in South America, which is something that I've always dreamed of helping with. So I'm very happy about it.
I have this will to solve the problem. I think this motivates me both personally and professionally. I want to see the problem solved.
Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh, is one of the most crowded cities in the world. The metro area is about the size of Munich, Germany, but it has 6 times the population with over 10 million residents. It was the 7th least livable city in the world, according to the 2022 Global Livability Index by the Economist Intelligence Unit. One of the reasons? The lack of clean drinking water. An irony, considering that Dhaka is surrounded by 4 rivers, has over 50 canals and several lakes. It's 8 in the morning in Shantinagar, one of the busiest areas in Dhaka, and there's already a queue for water at a tap belonging to a mosque. For many residents, these taps are their only source of clean drinking water.
পানি নিতে আমাদের অনেক খরচ হয় প্রতি মাসে 3 থেকে 400 টাকা খরচ
যে সাপ্লাই পানিটা আসতেছে এই সাপ্লাই পানিটা হলো গন্ধ এবং আমরা এগুলো পোকামাকড় থাকে আমরা খাইতে পারি না
এই এলাকার পানি খাওয়া তো যায় না গোসল করতে গেলে গন্ধ আসে
Such scenes are common throughout the city. Most residents have taps at home, but the water supply is intermittent. And even when it comes, residents claim the water is undrinkable, even after boiling. That's why many are forced to find other sources of water.
সাফ করে ডবল বিল উঠে যায় তাও আমরা বিল দিতে হইছে তাও আমরা ঠিক মতো পানি পাই না
দুই একজন আছে মানে ধৈর্য কম হেগো লাগে লাগেও যায় মারানি
It's not just a problem that low-income residents are facing. Middle-income residents like Shumi Akhtar, a nurse, is also affected by the issue of water.
যখন ডিউটিতে যাই পানিটা তো থাকে না আবার এসেও দেখি একই অবস্থা এতে তো রান্না খাওয়া সব কিছুরই সমস্যা এসে তো পানিটা পায় না আর যখন ছাড়ে তখন হয়তো আমি বাসায় থাকি না প্রতিনিয়ত পানি কিনে খাইতে হচ্ছে ফোটানোর সমস্যা হচ্ছে কারণ আমি বাসায় থাকতেছি না হয়তো না ফুটিয়েই অনেক সময় খাচ্ছি তো এই ক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু অনেক সময় আমাদের ডায়রিয়ায় ভুগতে হচ্ছে
The lack of clean drinking water is not just inconvenient, it can be deadly. In 2022, according to the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control, more than 29 people in Bangladesh died from cholera an acute diarrheal infection caused by ingesting contaminated food or water. Here at the International Centre for Diarrheal Disease Research, an average of 1,700 patients are admitted every month because of waterborne diseases like diarrhea, cholera and typhoid.
বাড্ডা এরিয়া থেকে অনেক পেশেন্ট আসছে। সেকেন্ড হাইয়েস্ট এরিয়াগুলোর মধ্যে আছে আপনার মোহাম্মদপুর, মিরপুর, যাত্রাবাড়ি, এই এলাকাগুলো। ব্যাপক হারে আমরা কলেরা ওরাল ভ্যাকসিন কিন্তু ইন্ট্রোডিউস করা হয়েছে ঢাকা শহরের 6টি স্পটে। তো এটার সুফল হয়তো আমরা অচিরেই পাওয়া শুরু করব।
Right now, more than 80% of Dhaka's water comes from groundwater. However, that supply is threatened by over-extraction and contamination.
In the master plan, we have already taken the steps to mitigate the climate change impact on our water supply. At the starting, we were 100% or 90% dependable on the underground water extraction, which is not ecologically viable or environmentally friendly. That is the reason why we have shifted our focus, and we are now treating the river water and giving the surface water.
In February 2019, the third and newest water treatment plant for Dhaka was completed. This $290 million facility was partially funded by the Export-Import Bank of China and was built by China CAMC Engineering Company Limited, an important subsidiary of China National Machinery Industry Corporation, or Sinomac. Water from the Padma River is pumped to the main plant, where it goes through 5 processes, including filtration and disinfection, before it becomes purified water. The treated water is then piped to Dhaka, 33 kilometers away. Around 4 million residents would benefit from this plant, but all these almost didn't happen.
The existing distribution network is not enough to cope the full capacity. Dhaka Wasa as well as the Bangladeshi agencies requested the Chinese government, especially to the KMC management, and KMC was pleased to do this extra work.
Besides building the water treatment plant, CAMCE offered to build a 1-kilometer pipe that would connect the plant to the existing water distribution network.
然后在这个合同签署之后，验收移交之后呢，又应业主的要求，我们又签署了这个18个月的运营维护合同，所以总共加起来，我在那边有现场应该有工作了有6年的时间。实际上在6年的这个时间里，每一天实际上都是很就如履薄冰吧。我们通盘考虑呢，还是决定呢给业主的就是说这个水呢。在合同规定范围以外呢，又加送了这个1公里，包括设计、施工，包括供货，全部由我们来承担了这一部分的成本。那么把这个水呢，就送入到了邻近的一个供水的管网。
Besides providing clean water, the plant also provided new opportunities for locals. Right now, the water treatment plant is mainly run by locals. Most of them trained by their Chinese counterparts.
We hope we can do something to improve the local people's life. That's our intention.
该项目的建成投产是中蒙两国友谊的结晶，也是公司积极践行“一带一路”倡议最为典型的民生工程。中公国际将继续秉承高标准、可持续、惠民生的理念，与“一带一路”沿线国家和人民一道。携手推动构建人类命运共同体。
The task of providing safe and clean drinking water is taken seriously. That is why, every day, researchers in the in-house lab check the water at each stage of the water purification process.
5-6টা প্রসেস লোকেশন থেকে পানি কালেক্ট করার পরে আমরা এখানে 32টা টেস্ট করি, যেমন আছে অ্যালুমিনিয়াম, ক্লোরিন, যেমন ফ্রি ক্লোরিন, টোটাল ক্লোরিন, এগুলো আছে কিনা এগুলো আমরা টেস্ট করি। যদি এগুলো থাকে বা সেটার এগেইনস্টে আমরা আসলে কি মানে প্রিকশনস বা কি আমরা স্টেপ নেব, কি মেজার্সটা নেব, সেটা আমরা মানে অপারেশন টিমকে আমরা জানাই।
To ensure that people get a steady supply of water, the plant never sleeps and is operational 24/7. In order to do that, a 33 kilovolt power transmission line was installed to supply the plant with uninterrupted power, and a team is on standby at all times to respond to technical issues or accidents.
আমাদের যে কোনো প্রকার ফল্ট হলে সেটা সরাসরি আমাদের এখানে একটা অ্যালার্ম চলে আসে। আমরা অ্যালার্মটা অ্যানালাইসিস করে দেখি যে এখানে কী নোটিফিকেশন আসছে। তখন আমরা আমাদের মেইনটেন্যান্স টিম আছে, মেইনটেন্যান্স টিমের সাথে যোগাযোগ করি, তখন মেইনটেন্যান্স টিম কাজটা গিয়ে সলভ করে দেয়।
Purifying water is just one step in ensuring people get clean water. The pipes that deliver the water matter too.
সাপ্লাইয়ের ডিমান্ড একদিকে অনেক হাই হচ্ছে, এই ডিমান্ডকে কারেন্ট যে স্ট্রাকচার আছে সেটা দিয়ে মেনটেন করা মিট করা সম্ভব হবে না। সাপ্লাই সাইডের যে নেটওয়ার্কটা আছে সেই নেটওয়ার্কের মধ্যে আমরা দেখি যে বর্তমান সময়ে যে এক্সিস্টিং যে ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন লাইন আছে সেই ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন লাইনগুলো সবগুলো ত্রুটিপূর্ণ, এবং ত্রুটিপূর্ণ লাইন থাকার কারণে পানিটা যখন এন্ড ইউজারের ট্যাপ পর্যন্ত আসে সেখানের মধ্যে আমরা দুর্গন্ধযুক্ত পানি পাই।
According to experts, unregulated digging by utility service providers is also a major contributor to the contamination of piped water. Evidently, Dhaka's water crisis will not be solved by just treating more water. The issue runs deep. It would require a concerted effort from the government to the distributors and even the water users to ensure everyone has access to safe drinking water, a necessity of life and a basic human right.